Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Turnbuckle Topics. My name is Pat, and today I'm going to be going over WWE's Hall of Fame Class of 2020. That ceremony is tonight, and of course the Class of 2020 was supposed to be inducted last year. However, COVID had different plans, so they'll be inducted tonight alongside WWE's Hall of Fame Class of 2021. Now, I'm sure by now you heard all of the members that are in last year's and this year's class. So this particular video, I'm just going to go over the class of 2020. In the next video following this, I'll be going over the entire class of 2021. I'm going to list all of their accomplishments, mostly WWE, some outside promotions as well, and I'm going to list my personal favorite moment of each of their careers. So without further ado, and before I get to it, be sure to subscribe to Turnbuckle Topics if you haven't already. Hit that notifications bell, and of course, don't forget to like and comment as many times as you'd like because, well, simply put, I love it, and I'll be sure to respond to you as I always do. Alright guys, so let's get into it right now. So the WWE's Hall of Fame Class of 2020 was originally listed as 4 individuals and 2 groups. One individual will no longer be inducted tonight, and that is the Animal Dave Bautista. We never really got a clear response or explanation as to why he was removed from the Hall of Fame tonight. But, my guess, and it was rumored that he had some kind of scheduling conflict, being that he's always shooting films and movies, similar to The Rock. So, yeah, sometime down the road, I'm sure he'll be honored without a doubt. So we have 3 individuals and 2 groups. Those individuals are JBL, John Bradshaw Layfield, Jushin Thunder Liger, the British Bulldog, Davey Boy Smith, one of my personal favorites. And then we have the BELLATWINS, Nikki and Brie. And then the NWO, Hollywood Hulk Hogan, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, and X-Pac. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I think it's a solid class, top to bottom. JBL. Man, what a career. Good old John Bradshaw Layfield. I remember watching him in the early 90s as a member of the New Blackjacks alongside Barry Windham. Their manager, I believe, was Zeb Coulter, aka Dutch Mantel, but I believe when he was managing them, he was Uncle Zebekiah. Correct me if I'm wrong. And yeah, so what a storied career he really had. I'm going to run down a list of his accomplishments. A former WWE champion, Intercontinental and United States champion, an 18-time hardcore champion, a 3-time tag team champion. He is the 20th Triple Crown winner, 10th Grand Slam champion, and now a member of the WWE Hall of Fame. And I would have to say, I really don't have a favorite moment per se of JBL, although he's had many great moments, as you just heard. But I'd have to say my favorite memory of JBL has got to be when he teamed up with good old Farouk Ron Simmons as a member of the APA, the Acolyte Protection Agency. They had an amazing run. They were together for 6 years, from the better part of 1998 to 2004. That's just my fondest memories. That's when I was really loving wrestling, especially when they first got together as a tag team. So yeah, congratulations, JBL. You deserve it. All right, next up, we have Jushin Thunder Liger. Let's check out his accomplishments. He's literally wrestled everywhere. He is an 11-time IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion, a 6-time IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champion. He was also a WWF Light Heavyweight Champion and a WCW Light Heavyweight Champion, just to name a few. Like I said, he's literally wrestled everywhere. The guy is just unbelievable. What a storied career he has had. He had a match in NXT, I believe it was 5 or 6 years ago, against Tyler Breeze. That was fantastic just to see him. But my favorite memory of Jushin Thunder Liger had to be roughly around 1996, WCW Starrcade 1996. He had a great matchup against Rey Mysterio Jr. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Jushin Thunder Liger came out with the victory. But I just remember seeing these two guys and I was like, wow, they're incredible. And of course then Rey Mysterio Jr. was just getting started. Geez, look at the guy now. Rey Mysterio, 25 years later, still doing a damn thing with his son Dominic on SmackDown. So yeah, Jushin Thunder Liger, congratulations. Amazing career, my man. Now, definitely, without a shadow of a doubt, my favorite inductee of the class of 2020's WWE Hall of Fame has got to be the British Bulldog, Davey Boy Smith. As far as I can remember of being a fan of pro wrestling, I remember enjoying the British Bulldog. Late 80s, early 90s. Always thought that he flew under the radar. Definitely never got as much credit as he should have. As much of a push as I think that he should have over the years. But hey, that's just my opinion. But I'm going to ring off a list of some of his accomplishments, and that is as follows. The British Bulldog is a former WWF European Champion 2 times. He is a former Intercontinental Champion, a 2-time Hardcore Champion, a 2-time Tag Team Champion, and now, of course, a member of the WWE Hall of Fame. I've always liked the British Bulldog. I liked when he teamed up with Lex Luger as members of the Allied Powers, I believe they were called. I liked when he was a tag team with Owen Hart, a member of the Hart Foundation, alongside Owen, Jim the Anvil, Brian Pillman, and of course, Bret the Hitman Hart. And then I even liked the British Bulldog when his little run in WCW. He had a few runs, but his last run, I believe, after WWF and the Attitude Era was with Jim the Anvil Neidhart. He tagged up with him for quite a bit. So I'm going to be honest with you, I had a hard time deciding just one moment of the British Bulldog that was my favorite of all time, so I had to pick 2. Hope you could forgive me. And starting with Wrestlemania 2, when the British Bulldogs, the Dynamite Kid, and Davey Boy Smith defeated Greg the Hammer Valentine and Brutus Beefcake, winning the Tag Team Championships, celebrating with Captain Lou Albano and Ozzy Osbourne. I thought that was pretty much what a sight to see, pop culture at its finest, and that was pretty cool. But as far as Davey Boy Smith as a singles competitor, I gotta go with SummerSlam 1992, when he won the Intercontinental Championship against Bret the Hitman Hart in Wembley Stadium. That was a sight to see. PWI, I believe, ranked that match as Match of the Year in 1992, and that was just pretty amazing with all the family tension building up. I remember watching WWF Superstars as a kid, and they kept having Bret Hart's parents on, Stu and Helen, and they're like, oh, this rivalry is dividing the family, and they made it real dramatic, and it was really cool, and it was a great match, which we all anticipated, delivered 110%, so that's what I gotta go with. British Bulldog, Davey Boy Smith, well-deserved, gone too soon, but honored nonetheless. And so now we have the Bella Twins, both Nikki and Brie Bella, going into the class of 2020's WWE Hall of Fame, completely deserving of it. I know there's been a lot of naysayers over the past year or so, was discussing whether or not they really should be in it. I think they do deserve it completely, 110%, and I'll get into that in just a moment. But first and foremost, let me list a few of their accomplishments over the years. We have Nikki Bella, who is a 2-time Divas Champion. We have Brie Bella, who is a 1-time Divas Champion. In 2015, PWI ranked Nikki Bella as #1 of the top 50 female wrestlers. In that very same year, they ranked Brie Bella at number 12. They were the stars of Total Divas over the years. Then they went on to have their own show, Total Bellas. They're completely overall just a great brand. They have Birdie B clothing line. And yeah, they've set themselves up perfectly for a post-wrestling career, which is really the goal, right? So you don't have to continuously be in there taking bumps your whole life. As much as you may love pro wrestling, you got to think of the future. My favorite moment of Nikki and Brie Bella, as much as I loved seeing them as a tag team over the years, I did really enjoy their feud in 2014. I remember it all started at SummerSlam 2014 when it was Brie Bella versus Stephanie McMahon. It looked like Nikki Bella was going to come in and potentially do something to Steph. She pushed Steph out of the way, snuffed Brie Bella, and that was the beginning of what led to a match at Hell in a Cell 2014. Nikki Bella defeated Brie Bella, and that is my favorite moment of the Bella Twins. I thought that was really great. But I say that to say this. My favorite overall moment, not saying they're solely responsible for it, however, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that they were a huge part of it. Back in February 24th, 2015, the Bella Twins were in a match against Emma and Paige. That match was 30 seconds. I believe Brie Bella rolled up Emma again in under 30 seconds or so. And that was that. I believe that was all the airtime the girls got on Monday Night Raw. A 3-hour show, mind you. So then all the fans were livid. They started hashtagging Give Divas a Chance. And Vince and company heard it. And look where we are 6 years later in the world of professional wrestling for women. Not just for WWE, but all over the world for several promotions. It was a real eye-opener. I mean, just WWE, for example. This happened right before WrestleMania 31 with the hashtags, and they had a big women's tag match. I believe it was a 10-women tag match they had that year, which was cool. It was a send-off for Brie going into retirement. But that very next year in Houston, Texas, WrestleMania 32, there was a triple threat match where Charlotte Flair was defending her Divas Championship against both Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks. And Lita came out before that match, and they said the winner of this match will then become the new WWE Women's Champion, which is where they went from a Divas title to an actual Women's Championship as they had many years ago. So that was huge. It was groundbreaking, and before I wrap up this Bella segment, again, they were a huge part of this, whether it was deliberate or not. I mean, for example, 2016, first women's Hell in a Cell match, Charlotte and Sasha. 2017, they had a Money in the Bank match where Carmella won. 2018, we had the first ever Women's Royal Rumble where Asuka won. The debut of Ronda Rousey was there. 2018, just a month later, you had the Elimination Chamber match for the first time that women had their own match. October 2018, women had their own pay-per-view. That's crazy in a great way. When you think that just 3.5 years prior to that, they had a 30-second match on Monday Night Raw. Now, 3.5 years later, they have their own pay-per-view. And then, which led to April 2019. They headlined WrestleMania in a triple threat match. You had the Raw Women's Champion, Ronda Rousey, the SmackDown Women's Champion, Charlotte Flair, and of course, Becky Lynch, where she went on to win and won both titles. Just fantastic, the leaps that they've made in such a very short period of time. Now, before I get to the last inductee, which is the NWO, I got to mention some breaking news that came out a couple of days ago. There will be a star inducted into the Celebrity Wing Hall of Fame class of 2020, that of whom is Star Trek legend William Shatner. I believe he's 90 years old, I recently read, and I was like, wow, I must be getting old because I can't believe he's that damn old. Looks good for his age, though, gotta say. So congratulations to William Shatner, again, in the WWE Class 2020 Hall of Fame Celebrity Wing. I believe in 2007, he was the one who helped induct Jerry the King Lawler when he went in the Hall of Fame. So yeah, just a little tidbit. Congrats. So last but certainly not least, the NWO. Now, Hollywood Hulk Hogan here was wondering if he could stand in on this, and I said, sure, why not? Who am I? It's your time. So I'm going to ring off some of their accomplishments from Hollywood Hulk Hogan, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, and X-Pac, or Six, or 1-2-3 Kid, Sean Waltman, whatever you would like to call him. Okay, and the accomplishments that I'm going to list are strictly their championships, primarily in WCW. Because when I think NWO, I certainly don't think WWE, WWF, whatever you want to call it. To me, NWO should strictly be WCW based, and so that's what I'm going to give you. All right. So, as far as Hogan is concerned, he was a 6-time WCW World Heavyweight Champion. Scott Hall, a 7-time WCW World Tag Team Champion. Also a 1-time WCW World TV Champion, and a 2-time WCW United States Heavyweight Champion. Kevin Nash, he was a 5-time WCW World Heavyweight Champion, also a 9-time WCW World Tag Team Champion, and of course X-Pac, a 1-time WCW Cruiserweight and a 1-time WCW World Tag Team Champion. Now, as far as my favorite NWO moment, it would have to be at the very beginning where it all began. And if you know pro wrestling, even in the slightest, you know where I'm headed with this one. So it's when that guy became this guy, taking it to 1996, Bash at the Beach. We had Macho Man Randy Savage, Lex Luger, and Sting going up against the Outsiders, Scott Hall and Kevin Nash. And for weeks they were advertising a mystery third man who's going to be their partner for the whole match. It was 2-on-3, a handicap match. Until the very end, it looked like Hogan was coming out to help save the Macho Man Randy Savage and company. he comes out and he turns heel. He gives the Macho Man a leg drop, and he came out and said, you know, that they were the New World Order. They were forming an organization that was going to rival WCW and company, and that was the birth of the New World Order, and that was historic. It was necessary, and hell, it's great. Turned out to be great, and I did appreciate their time in WWE. Of course, Hogan versus The Rock at WrestleMania 18 was simply fantastic. NWO for life. So as always, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Turnbuckle Topics. I hope you enjoyed this video, going over WWE's Hall of Fame class of 2020. And following this video, I'll be going over WWE's Hall of Fame class of 2021. Similar format, similar fashion, accomplishments, favorite moments, you know the deal. So be sure to enjoy the Hall of Fame tonight. It's exclusively on Peacock. No longer on the WWE Network unless you are international. And yeah, folks, I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.